All right, man, we're back. Me and Dan are back. D-Sweet Nation. Been about a little over a year, because I think the last time we did that Davison podcast was like mid-February last year, Dan, before...
No, that was in January. We actually did some in mid-January before first week of February.
The Davison one, though, I think was like February 8th or something like that.
Yeah. Yep.
It's been a year.
Right, yeah.
It's been roughly a year. A lot of stuff going on, we certainly appreciate everybody that's been asking when we're coming back and all that. And one quick thing I want to say before I get started is I want to dedicate this show to my son Travis. We lost him 3 years ago today, so I want to dedicate this show to him. And my late softball coach, Dwayne Tilson, who also passed away on this date a year before my son did. So this is for Travis Tyner and Dwayne Tilson. Just wanted to say that. So today we got Chuck Lawler, who's the owner, president, player, everything for the Flint Fury semi-pro football team. And we're going to talk a lot about that a little later on, the Flint Fury. I got a few fun topics today. We're going to talk some sports, and we'll even talk some non-sports. I got some fun non-sports questions. Actually, we'll talk about the non-sports ones first. One of the things I wanted to ask you, man, before you sat at the table, Chuck.
Okay.
Who are a couple of your favorite MCs of all time? Just a couple of them. You know, you don't have to put them in order.
Well, top two would be KRS-One.
Yeah.
And Rakim. Top two.
Where's the applaud button there? Hit that applaud button. That's what you bought that thing for. I agree with him.
Top two.
Yeah, I don't have a favorite, but, you know, I usually throw the same names out. KRS-One is one of them. I like Rakim also. I ain't no joke, man. That's like the best rap song ever. I also like Big Daddy Kane still. I still think he can spit better than anybody today. Just my personal opinion. Mm-hmm. Ice Cube, when he went solo.
Up there too, though.
Yep. I like Ice Cube when he went solo with, you know, Kill That Will and Death Certificate and all that. Mm-hmm. And I got to throw Chuck D up in there, too. Chuck D is one of my favorites. Now, his is different. You know, his was more...
conscious.
Yeah. And as far as like one-hit wonder, I don't know if I call him a one-hit wonder, but Treat Me Right by Chubb Rock. I mean, that's one of the best songs ever, too.
Yeah.
By Chubb. What about DJs, man? You got a couple favorite DJs on the turntables?
Got to be Jazzy Joe.
Yeah?
Jazzy Joe.
Yep.
Top.
DJ Jazzy Joe.
I used to try to emulate him when I was younger. So
I wish that was a talent that I possessed, man, knowing how to do them turntables and all that.
I was an amateur, but, you know,
Were you?
I did a little bit, yeah.
That was back in the days when, people used to do that stuff. My sister was kind of good at doing that. You know, she did that as a recreational hobby. But I like Jazzy Jeff and Jam Master Jay, Kid Capri. I think Eric B. is underrated. You know, he's one of the best of all time. And
there's a lot of them out there, though.
Do people even do that anymore? Do kids even do that anymore?
Yes.
Do they?
I got a couple saved on my YouTube right now. So, yeah.
Oh, okay.
What was the DJ's name for Public Enemy? Was it
Terminator X?
Terminator X.
Yeah, that was another good one. Man, damn. Applause button again for you saying that one.
I was a big Public Enemy fan when I was a kid.
All right, I'm sorry. Do you remember what the name of those military guys or whatever? You know what the name?
Oh man,
who they were? They used to do all them karate kicks and.
No, it's blank. I'm blanking.
S1Ws.
S1Ws
on their. Let me see. They had a video.
Professor Griff.
The Brothers Gonna Work It Out video. They were wearing Detroit Bad Boy shirts. Look that up.
Okay.
Yeah, they were doing their karate kicks with Detroit Bad Boy shirts on. Mm-hmm. Chuck, man, you like the L.A. Lakers? You still a diehard Laker fan?
I'm still a Laker. I'm a Laker fan.
Talk about them Showtime Lakers, man. What you know about the Showtime Lakers? I know you know. I shouldn't say what you know about them, but what are some of your best memories of the Showtime Lakers?
Well, when I was growing up, I guess, you know, it started with Magic Johnson.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Of course, you know what I mean? They started the whole thing out. You know, but I guess it started when they went and got Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, though.
Yeah.
That's when it actually started. Then they surrounded the team around him. So I guess the only thing I like about LA is they got money. So they pay
Yeah.
To get the players that they want. Yeah.
88 finals. The Phantom Foul, man. Do you remember the Phantom Foul in Game 6 when Kareem got fouled by Lambeer with 14 seconds left? And he was able to. That was when Isaiah sprained his ankle. It was that game.
That was a great game.
We were up by a point. We were up by a point with 14 seconds left. Kareem shot a skyhook from what looked like 50 feet, missed it. Rodman got the rebound. Then Hugh Hollins blew the whistle. We ended up losing that game. There was a lot of controversy there. Do you think they were okay? The Lakers in '88. You think they were better than the Pistons were that year? That particular year?
That's tough. No, because the Pistons they was really good. I give them credit. They was really good. They did so.
That's an objective, honest answer there. I was expecting
for a Lakers fan.
Yeah, a real Lakers fan from way back. This is not a Johnny come lately here. This is a real Laker fan because like now. People they don't really have favorite teams no more. It's just I follow LeBron where he goes. They do all that following.
Whoever win, that's who they go with.
Yeah. I've never been like that. I'm still a Pistons fan, and they. Blake Griffin hasn't dunked the ball. They said in a year and a half or something like that. Hasn't dunked in a game, but because of the injuries and all that. But
that's what kids do nowadays. They don't follow teams. They follow players because players switch teams so much now.
Right.
It's hard for kids to be fans of teams. They're more fans of the player. So wherever that player goes, they're going to be a fan of that player and that team.
How did you take the Kobe Bryant news when he passed away?
It brought chills to me. It hurt my feelings pretty much. That was a hard one to swallow.
Yeah. He told me first, ironically. Dan's the one who told me the news. And then my pastor from Saginaw, him and I were talking about it. And, man, he hit it right on the button. He said what that taught us when he was killed in that helicopter crash, what that told us is that it was a message to the world that we ain't guaranteed to be here tomorrow. The way he said it, the way he presented it made sense. We ain't guaranteed tomorrow. So I always appreciate when I wake up in the morning and thank God and all that, but yeah, I'm still, I still can't believe it. Dan brought up a good point, around this time last year. He said that's really like the first time, one of the first, I shouldn't say the first time, but one of the first times in our lifetime that an athlete that's that high, the elite of elite has, died suddenly like that. Because I was trying to think, I can't really recall someone of that caliber, okay?
Right.
Current, though, not somebody like, Hank Aaron passed away where they're older, but in a tragic way, in a tragic, unforeseen way, yeah.
But, the first thing I thought of was, how I would feel if I heard, about Isaiah, Magic, Larry, or Michael, dying when they're 40, how I would take that.
Yeah.
But that's just...
you compare that to Tupac and Biggie. And,
Yep, exactly.
Tupac,
Biggie, even Princess Diana dying, those sudden tragic things that happen like that.
Tupac died on my birthday. Wow. He died on September 14th, 1996 is when he died. I was on my way to, when I heard that on the radio, Chuck, I was on my way to Saginaw Arthur Hill to watch a Central and Saginaw Arthur Hill football game. That's when I heard the news.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Derek was with me.
That was probably the most tragic death of my life. I was a huge Tupac fan. Yeah. That one killed me.
Yeah, that hurts a lot. What do you think about? Let me say this about the Shaq and Kobe Lakers. I wonder if you agree with this. Dan and I have talked about this a lot. I think that when the Bulls, the Jordan, Pippen, and Rodman Bulls, when they were doing their thing in the late 90s, let me see, 98 was their last run. So I think 99, I still think that they were better than the Spurs that year. They possibly could have won that series, but I think Shaq and Kobe in 2000, I think they would have put an end to the Bulls dynasty because, they're getting a little older, fatigue and all the wear and tear.
Right.
I don't know if the 2000 Lakers could have, beat the 96 Bulls. I'm not saying that, but I'm just saying eventually because they ain't going to win forever.
Well, I guess
that would have been the team that would have would have beat him. I think a young Kobe
with
and young
younger
Shaq.
though, it's hard because couldn't nobody stop Shaq.
No,
nobody. So it's hard to compare teams like that because nobody on the Bulls could have stopped Shaq at all. And then Kobe was going to feed off of that.
Yeah.
Kobe and Michael would have went in, they would have did their thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it would have came down to Shaq dominating.
And
Rodman wouldn't have been able to stop him. Good as he was, he wouldn't have been able to stop him.
Not at that particular time, no.
So
because it was Shaq's turn.
Yeah.
It was Shaq's turn.
Yeah, I don't know how Luke Longley would have handled Shaq.
Oh, Lord have mercy. Him and them other two, what they call them, three big in Chicago, the three-headed monster or something like that. Luke Longley, Bill Winnington, and there's another goof they call it. Yeah, they would have had no answer for Shaq at all.
We've talked about that before, how the Bulls of that era, they would have went a few more years, how they would have matched up against the 2000 Lakers.
Oh, that would have been...
that would have been nice.
That would have been unreal, man. That would have been a nice matchup. Pippen would have got exposed by Kobe. Would have if Kobe would have been Pippen's assignment,
right? Because we saw in 94, 95 when Jordan stepped away, when Jordan came back, and they went up against Orlando in the Eastern Conference Finals and lost.
I'm going to talk about Pippen in a minute here because we're going to talk about a couple weeks ago we were talking about James Worthy, Kevin McHale, and Scottie Pippen. And between McHale, Worthy, and Pippen, if you're running the team and you had all three of them guys in their primes and you had to cut one of them, who you cutting? Who's getting the heat?
Who comes in third on that list?
But to be real, though, they different positions. So... They different positions, so I would. Pippen would go. He would go.
Yeah. Don't just hit that when you agree with something. Hey, man, guy's got a good point. I mean,
but they got different positions because McHale power and.
How unstoppable was Kevin McHale in the paint? In the paint with all them moves, the up and under, the jump hook, those long arms, footwork.
Yeah, he was so long.
How valuable is that? Yeah. I mean, obviously, Jordan and Pippen, they are who they are. Kobe and Shaq, they are who they are. Magic and Kareem, Magic and Worthy, but Bird and McHale, man, I mean, then you got Robert Parrish, a mean player like that. That was a decent low post player and, block shots and was capable of giving you 20 rebounds, man. That was just an awesome front court. That 86 Boston team is the best team I ever seen, man. In my opinion, in my lifetime. That team had four, not Hall of Famers, 4 first ballot Hall of Famers. I've looked at a lot of rosters to try to find 4 first ballot Hall of Famers. I didn't look at Bill Russell's Celtics, but that team was pretty damn good, man.
Yeah, but when you pose that question, the question is not whether Kevin McHale is good or not, because he was. But the question is, who's third best out of those 3?
Pippen to me. Chuck said Pippen.
Yeah.
Who do you think?
McHale. McHale. While he was unstoppable on the block, you sent me a highlight reel of Kevin McHale, and I told you the one thing I noticed out of that highlight.
I had to show you a highlight reel because I wasn't sure if you was familiar with Kevin McHale.
No, I was, but it was good to refresh your memory. But the one thing I noticed out of that highlight is, every single highlight, he's never more than 10 feet away from the basket. So he's very one-dimensional player as far as, he's a post player. He was good on the block. He was darn near unstoppable on the block.
This, too, though. He had that muscle between the ears.
Right. The other 2 guys there's a lot of facets to their game, right? They could run. They could shoot. They were, you know what I mean? They good on defense.
Okay. Oh, all right.
Right?
Okay. Well, that's a good point. Now, the Showtime Lakers, though, when you was watching them Boston and L.A. games, even though you guys got the most of Boston more than they got the best of you, how many times did Kevin McHale have you wanting to kick the TV screen?
A lot.
A lot. Now, I'm a Piston fan, so that goes without saying. They were just... Because
his defense was real good,
how that big guy grabs a little kid by the head and the kid's trying to punch him? That's what we were doing as Piston fans, trying to... Oh, it just felt good to beat him, though, finally.
Yeah.
Now, Chuck, I want to talk about the Flint Fury, though, man. Let's talk about the Fury, the team that you own, man. Tell anybody who's watching, man, tell us about the Flint Fury.
Well, we are considered minor league or semi-pro, whichever one you want to put on it, but it's the same thing. Which means that the players don't get paid. Right. So what we try to do is we try to expose these players to, let's say, community involvement. Mm-hmm. If they can go to college, we try to help them go to college. Yeah. So the Flint Fury is just it's a community organization basically that plays football. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you guys do a lot for the community. I've seen where you guys have done like food drives and then there's the raffle. If you want to talk about the raffle that's going on.
Yeah, this year we're doing a raffle because we're doing a youth camp in May.
Okay.
We're doing a youth football camp. We usually do it every year. I think we skipped last year because of the COVID thing, of course, but we're coming back and do it again this year. It's been real successful. As far as getting the kids out of the community, and then I have my players coach the kids, so it's really good. Yeah,
that's good. Now, the Fury, they've been around for a little while now. How long you been doing this, Chuck?
2003.
Since 2003.
Okay,
so that's
longer
18.
Longer than I thought.
Yeah.
And how long have you been the owner? Since 2003?
2003. It was two of us at first. The other guy's name was Prince Goodson. I don't know if you know him or not, but he was an excellent football player back in his day too. But he had family issues, and so he had to step down probably in like 2006 or 7.
Okay.
And I've had it by myself ever since.
How great is it, Dan, to to be able to run a successful semi-pro football team and be able to make a difference in people's lives, man. We need more people like
Absolutely.
Chuck in the area, man. Everybody knows him. He's there some kids probably didn't have fathers in the home, and he's been you've been that father figure, man. I kind of wish that I could do something like that, man. I just think that's great, man, giving it back, because you played, high school and semi-pro and college and all that stuff and flag football games, which I was a part of. My head still hurts kind of, but man, you've been doing it a long time, man. And
definitely has to feel.
You look like you can still play. Do you ever play?
No, I just mess around and practice a little bit, but nothing major anymore because my body can't take it, of course. I'm 50 years old now, so,
See,
but I played till I was 40.
Don't look 50, Chuck.
See, as a O lineman and a D lineman, I love having coaches that look like that because when I was playing high school ball, Mr. Ufinger wasn't that old. He was still in his late 40s, maybe early 50s, and in practice, if he had to get his point across physically, he could. Just like Chuck could do if he wanted to. This is how you do it, damn it. Get out, I'm not saying that's what he does. I'm just saying kids, linemen need that kind of stuff. Because in the trenches, Dan, you ever play on the line against good offensive linemen? And in the trenches?
None in the trenches. I played defensive
anything
end
goes
for a
down
bit.
there, man. Anything. Because basically, offensive linemen, it's basically like a fight every single play. There's, when I say punches thrown, I don't mean punches like that, but there's, hits in the chin, poke an eye, little cheap shit, grabbing and
you hear
pulling.
about it all the time.
I mean, rubbing Bengay in the eyes and all that goes on down there. It takes a special crazy person to be able to do that for a long time.
True that.
So how long did you play for the Falcons, the Flint Falcons?
From 92 till 99. So I say, what's that, 7 years?
Okay. Any notable Flint players? You get a little shout out or something, or any notable players from back then? Some friends of yours?
Well, the owner was back then was Mike Sargent.
Yep.
Yeah, he was really good.
Yeah.
He was really
I've
good.
heard of him. Yeah.
And then one of my best friends, Keith Tunstall.
Okay.
Which he's coaching a lot of the high schools around here right now. So.
Okay. You played with Levels, didn't you?
Steve Levels. It was great. Technician. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Everything was perfect with that guy.
He says this, he's complimentary about you too, though. He says all good things about you.
I mean, we made each other good.
Yeah.
I mean, we trained together. I mean, we ran up Mount Holly. So.
Damn, I believe it, man.
So we trained together, and in practice we was beating each other up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Making each other better.
Sure.
Yeah. And so that was the great thing about back then.
Okay, like today's game, evolution, because a lot of kids are stronger, faster, and quicker. Doesn't necessarily mean they're better from 30 years ago, but how would you compare like skilled, like your best skilled players now as opposed to some good skilled players from, let's say, the early 90s or late 80s? What's the difference? Mentality's different, or are they quicker, faster?
The knowledge is a little different because they start earlier.
Oh, okay.
And then they got specialized camps now. If you want to be a DB, they just got a specific DB camp. If you want to be a lineman, they got, and they start you off at like 5-6 years old.
Yeah.
So by the time you're in high school, a lot of times those guys are really good. So I think the knowledge is a little different right now. But as far as physical, I don't think it's a change in physicality though. It looks good, on video,
Yeah.
when they do all these drills and stuff. But in actuality, it's the same.
Who were some of the good players at Northern High School when you played at Flint Northern High School?
Oh man, I can't recall like name. That's like go way back. But
Yeah, that is kind of long ago.
yeah, I try to blank that one out. I didn't get a lot of playing time in Northern, so that's like.
Did you and Steve know each other back then in high school?
No, we didn't meet until the Falcons.
Who was coaching Flint Northern back then when you were there? Who was the head coach?
My first, it was Randy Johnson.
Okay.
When I first got to Northern, it was Randy Johnson. So okay. Yeah, those days are like bleak for me, but
Now, earlier, Dan had brought up before we started the show here. He brought up his favorite basketball player, and he brought up another individual. Would you like to start that discussion?
I mean, if you want to get into
we can get into it. Might as well.
The Jordan.
Every sports fan, it's one or the other. So
Jordan LeBron debate. Who you have an opinion on who the GOAT is? Jordan, LeBron, Kareem, somebody else?
Yeah, who's the GOAT in your eyes?
I'm gonna go away. Well, talent-wise, it's Jordan, I think, because of the physical things he had to deal with back in those days. The rules are different, so people can score 1,000 points now, easy. You know what I mean? And then the three-point shooting and all that good stuff. But in reality, Kareem.
I agree with that.
Okay.
Dan, you going to hit the button or no? So it's
it's
only when you agree with it is when you hit the button.
Because
Is that how it goes?
he scored a bunch of points, But then you can argue it wasn't as many big fellas back then. You know what I mean? So it's kind of...
One of the
that's how I kind of look at it too. I mean, Ray, I think, is in that same Kareem mindset, right? Because back then there wasn't a lot of players of that size that could match up against him, right? But he still was a very, very good player. Nobody's taking that away from him.
Hold on now. In the 70s now, Elvin Hayes, he had to go up against Elvin Hayes, Wes Unseld, Bill Walton when Bill Walton was healthy, Nate Thurman, Bob Lanier. I mean, there was some good centers back then, when Kareem was in shape. But I base my opinion on the deciding factor is when I'm talking about Mike or Kareem, who do I want to start my team around? Who do I want to build my team around? And it would be Kareem.
Okay.
Young Kareem.
Okay.
So.
Yeah, I think the media is they just X everybody else out.
Yeah, they just go to LeBron and Jordan.
Yeah.
What do you think of LeBron James? What do you think of LeBron James, man?
He can survive any era, I believe.
Yeah.
His body type.
I'm not using the buttons because we're having technical difficulties with your guys' headphones, and you guys can't hear it, so that's why I'm not playing it.
If you guys could hear the people are supposed to hear it.
Yeah.
Oh, see.
That's what I'm saying.
Hold on. Time out. Is that how it's going to be? Only when you like something you hit the
No.
I had 10 valid points here.
I'm just not doing it
every time
because you can't hear it. You might be talking over the sound effect.
Yeah, but I can see you hitting the button, though. Yeah.
But you don't know when it ends.
See how
I don't want to cut you. I don't want to cut you off.
Every week. It's like I said earlier. This is our first show in a year, but it don't feel like it's been a year. I feel like I was going through this with him last.
Like
week.
I have this interview clip keyed up on one of these buttons, but I can't play it because you guys can't hear it now. But I want to play it. Just the audience will hear it. You guys will hear it after. You guys won't hear it now. But it's basically a clip. There's an interview with John Calipari and Charles Barkley talking to each other, right, on that Jordan-LeBron debate. And Charles is giving his opinion on why Jordan is the GOAT over LeBron, right? So I'm going to play it, and then I'll kind of break it down for you guys afterwards. And I'll let you guys know when it's done.
Well, LeBron ain't done yet, though.
No, he's not
done yet. He's still got first of all, he's going to tie Magic and Kobe with 5 titles this year. He's going to tie them, okay?
Right.
And then, like I said before, if he wins the title next season, then he would be the same age next season that Michael was his first year with the Wizards. So you can't use that. Well, Michael was old, played with the Wizards because LeBron is the same age.
No. So let me play this, and I'll break down what they say afterwards. Right? I'll let you guys know when it's done because you guys can't hear it.
That's one. Dan listens to the media. Dan's a media guy.
Disrespect to LeBron.
Mike Greenberg. Just don't put Mike Greenberg on this show.
But I got to stop you. Didn't LeBron try to see everything Michael did and tried to mimic almost everything?
He can. He's not a natural born killer.
It's playing right now, Dan?
That's the big difference. Yeah. LeBron is a nice guy.
So I'm about to put my flyer.
He's a hell of a player now too. He's big.
He's unbelievable.
Hey, that's the biggest point guard you'll ever see.
That's real nice.
No, I'm saying he is a great person and a great player. The thing that separates Michael and Kobe, and you've seen all the teasers for this documentary. Michael says, "I want to win at all costs." He wants to win at all costs. I think Kobe is the exact same way. LeBron wants to win, but I don't think it's life or death to him.
Okay, so it's done. So what Charles Barkley goes in there and says, LeBron's a great player, LeBron's a nice guy, but Jordan was the type of player that wanted to win at all costs. He compares Jordan to Kobe. Those two guys, they would win at all costs. They wanted to win at all costs. And he goes on to say, he says, LeBron's a nice guy, but I don't think he has that killer mentality, right? He's a nice guy, but he doesn't want to win at all costs.
I get that. I get it. That's a valid point.
How? Okay. Who said that?
Charles Barkley.
All right. Now, everybody knows that Barkley's my favorite all-time player, next to Isaiah. Okay? That's what I tried to pattern my game after. I love Chuck. Barkley. Well, and him too. This Chuck. And Chuck D. mentioned earlier. How can you say how did he say it again? He said, the will to win. What did he say?
Killer instinct. He's not a he said he's not a natural born killer, right? He doesn't have that killer instinct.
Is it because he's lost in the finals more than he won? Is that why?
Well, I mean, I've said that to you before. That's exactly why I put Jordan over LeBron. It's just like I don't see that killer mentality from LeBron where, Jordan used to take things from guys very personal, whether it be conversations or meetings outside of the game of basketball, and the next time he faced you, that he was going to embarrass you. If you know what I mean?
I think what they're saying is like, during the games, like Mike will take over the game. LeBron wasn't doing that at first. No. He's kind of doing it more now, but he'll pass the ball more than he'll try to take it over. And they wanted him to take it over.
Yeah.
being the great guy. He
in the '96 finals when Gary Payton made the comment that he was the glove and he could D up Michael. And, he's like, okay, and he comes out and demolishes Gary Payton.
He demolished him. He demolished Gary Payton.
Yeah.
Okay. Let me ask you guys this. Both. I'm gonna ask Chuck and you. You guys both answer this. Chuck, I want Chuck to answer first.
Okay.
Now, nobody likes losing. Anything, whether we're playing old maid, flag football, or playing cutthroat in the driveway. Nobody likes losing nothing. So losing is losing, any way you look at it. But let me ask you this. Is it better to lose in the finals, or is it better to lose before the finals? Because, a lot of people act like Michael Jordan only played 6 years in the league and that's it. A lot of early exits out of him.
Right.
Okay, LeBron was making it there. That Cleveland team he won the title with, they were the worst team in the league 2 years prior to that when he came back.
Yeah.
And he beat a team that was 73-9, Golden State, coming off a title. So I don't understand where Barkley's coming from, and other people say you don't have that killer instinct. I wouldn't want to handle LeBron. Could you imagine LeBron playing back in the 80s with hand checking legal still? Someone that big and strong and athletic?
I think the difference there is I don't think LeBron pushes his teammates or demands out of his teammates the way that Michael Jordan did. I mean, you saw anybody that's watched that Last Dance documentary, his teammates said that dude was a jerk. He was a straight up jerk, but he pushed us to be better. We got to the finals. We got to these championships.
Did you watch that Last Dance documentary that he's talking about?
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, I've seen.
Can you believe that there were times? This is what they said on the documentary, that there was times on the airplane that if Horace Grant didn't have a good game, he didn't let him eat.
Oh, right. Yep. I remember that.
Look, let me say this. If I played for him on his team, because I'm one of those guys that, I follow my coaches. What they, I try to implement what they teach me, whether I like it or not. Just continuously try to get good at it. I don't question my coaches or owners. I don't question them. Wasn't raised that way. But when we ain't playing, man, I mean, you ain't going to tell me when to eat. How you going to tell me I can't eat?
Yeah.
Oh, everybody's eating good over here. He's got a mushroom Swiss burger. He's eating pizza over there. He's got enchiladas. Well, he said I can't eat, so I'm not eating. What kind of shit is... You're a grown man.
Yeah, but that's also the difference between that era NBA and today's NBA, too.
I used to always say good things about Horace Grant.
Unless he has some over his head that we don't know about. You know what I mean?
I just think that's how Michael Jordan had a handle on that team.
I understand that. I understand he was a jerk and all that, man, but...
I think that era of basketball died with, and no pun intended, but that Kobe Bryant was the last player that kind of held that kind of mentality, right? Because Kobe Bryant emulated all things Jordan in a way, right? Jordan was a big brother to Kobe Bryant, so that kind of mentality got passed from Jordan to Kobe, I believe.
Okay,
but you don't hear about players nowadays doing those kinds of things in the NBA.
From a different angle, though, I think the NBA changed because they wanted to accept more European players. And, European players was not hardcore at all, right?
No.
Back when I was growing up, I think Detlef Shrimp was the only one I knew back then.
When you see that, though, you just be like, okay, they made it more European. They're allowing the Euro step now. They didn't used to do that. I mean, you know what I mean?
Yeah. But, I mean, everybody knows the era. I mean, basketball's changed over the years. The bad boy stuff wouldn't pass nowadays.
No.
But you just don't see that guys having that kind of mentality, that Jordan Kobe mentality in the game.
What about LeBron James, man? What about him?
I don't see it. Do you see it? I don't see him having that kind of attitude towards his teammates, towards the game. He's good. And LeBron is probably the most gifted NBA player, if not athlete, I've ever seen.
Who?
LeBron.
Oh,
he's got the size of a power forward or a center, and the talent of a point guard. You know what I mean? Like, the guy's got it all. Like, he should be winning 10 championships in a row with.
Well, Jesus, he's won 4. I mean, how many is he supposed to win? The guy's won 4 and he ain't done yet.
I understand that, but how many has he been to? How many finals has he been to? 10? And he's only won 4?
10. What do you mean only won 4? What is it, easy to win the NBA title? It's easy to win it? He's getting there every year.
How many did Jordan go to?
Name.
How many did Jordan go to?
6.
How many did he win?
In the 90s. 6 in the 90s.
All right. That's 100% to me.
Okay, so like I said earlier, it's better to lose before the championship than it is in the championship.
So is Jim Kelly the GOAT of the NFL?
Who?
Jim Kelly, exactly. He went to 4 straight championships.
Did he say Jim Kelly? The Buffalo Bills, Jim?
Yeah.
What about him?
Yeah. He played in 4 straight Super Bowls and lost them all. Nobody talks about him being a GOAT or even in the top 10 NFL quarterbacks. Nobody even speaks his name.
Yeah, but he's never won any Super Bowls, though. I know he lost all, but he's never won shit. Well,
okay.
I mean, but still, going to 4 Super Bowls, I mean, I wish I could play in a Super Bowl.
Right, but that's just my point. LeBron's lost more finals than he's won.
I don't know if I'd be comparing LeBron James to Jim Kelly now.
I'm not
because
comparing the players.
Win. Jim Kelly didn't win the big ring, but he did get there for a while.
Yeah, but nobody talks about it.
I've talked about the Buffalo Bills over the years. I used to like them too. I was in Buffalo like 3 weeks ago, and I was going to go to Orchard Park if it wasn't so damn far away. You might not talk about Jim Kelly and the Bills. A lot of people liked them back then.
I know we don't like to talk in hypotheticals, and to quote Kendrick Perkins, if was a fifth, we'd all be drunk. But if Jordan doesn't retire those 2 years, right? Jordan doesn't go away from the game of basketball. If Jerry Krause isn't an idiot and break up that team in '98, are we talking about Jordan winning 9, 10 championships?
I don't know. I mean, it's just a matter of opinion.
Because the Bulls got to the final, or the Eastern Conference Finals, those 2 years that Jordan was gone.
No. The first year he was gone, they were in the... Okay, in '94...
When he came back, they lost to the Magic.
See, you give him wrong information there. You can look this up, too. You got the little laptop there. The first year Jordan was gone, they lost in 7 games to New York in round 2.
Okay. Is that when New York played Indiana? Is that the New York-Indiana finals?
New York played in the conference finals. They played 94 Indiana. Yeah, that was when Starks and Reggie Miller almost got into throwing blows. And then the following year, remember Michael came back halfway through the season. They lost in round 2 to Orlando, so they were not in the Eastern Conference finals. Those are 2 round 2 exits. I ain't gonna hold that against Michael or nothing like that. But 9 in a row, I don't know about all that. What do you think? 9 in a row if he don't retire?
If he got to the second round without him, yeah, I think he probably would have at least been there, if nothing else. Because that makes a big difference.
Now in '94 and '95, though, those 2 years, no Horace Grant or no Rodman. No, you got to factor that in. He didn't have that garbage man.
Yep.
So could he have won without Grant or Rodman championship?
I'm just looking at it as they made it that far, without him or whatever. You know what I mean? So I think they would have.
But you have to pose the question too: if Jordan's there, does Horace Grant even leave?
I don't know what his reason for Horace Grant's reason was. He traded or did he sign as a free agent? I can't remember. With Orlando,
I don't recall. I don't know how he left. I think he signed as a free agent.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
But I mean, you got to pose that question too. If Jordan's not gone, if Jordan's still there, does Horace Grant want to go anywhere else? If I'm Horace Grant, I'm not going anywhere.
Getting back to that Jim Kelly thing, I can't let you off the hook that easy. I don't agree. I'm not gonna be jumping down your throat like I used to. I'm just gonna tell you I don't agree with that. Maybe a better comparison would have been maybe like John Elway. Okay, who's been to 5 Super Bowls and won 2. That would have been a better.
Okay, so let me pose it to you this way:
playing in like football, playing in 5 Super Bowls is like playing in 10 NBA Finals.
Okay,
would you agree with that, Chuck?
Let me pose it to you this way then: Joe Montana, right? He won 3 Super Bowls.
4
Super Bowls.
Yes.
Who's the better quarterback, Joe Montana or Jim Kelly?
Montana.
Why? Jim Kelly got to 4 championships.
I don't compare nobody to Joe Montana other than Tom. I mean, I'll give Tom Brady his due, but other than Brady, Montana's the best I ever seen.
Right. So that makes the point. You got to put.
Why is Jim Kelly getting thrown under the bus? I don't understand it.
Because so Joe Montana won 4, Jim Kelly went to 4. Like, if you're not putting an emphasis on winning championships or the number of championships you lose or lost.
Yeah, but you compared LeBron James to a guy that didn't win the brass ring, Jim Kelly.
Right, but
he was there though.
That's the point with LeBron and
that should be recognized.
And Jordan.
Man.
Jordan won 6 of 6. LeBron's won 4 out of 10.
Let me ask Chuck and Dan a question here. How many guys in your neighborhood quarterbacked in 4 Super Bowls? just tell me. In my neighborhood, it'd be that math is easy. It'd be 0.
Right.
Man, Jim Kelly, man, I don't know if you're a fan of the show. I apologize for my producer, man. I don't know why you're. Jim Kelly was a good quarterback.
Yeah.
I wouldn't compare his positioning to LeBron James's positioning.
I'm comparing
4 championships.
I'm comparing the situation, right? So if you're going to debate LeBron versus Jordan and throw in that he's been to 10 finals and only won 4, then in the football world, that's a comparable situation, right? Jim Kelly has been to 4, lost 4. Joe Montana went to 4, won 4, right? Like, if they've gone to the same number of championships, so are they not?
I'm not giving Joe Montana the nod over Jim Kelly because he won 4 Super Bowls. I just think he was a better quarterback than Jim Kelly. I mean, he was what he was talking about earlier, that killer instinct. Joe Montana had that killer instinct. No, Jim Kelly and LeBron James, I think that's the first time that's ever been said on this earth. Then again, though, Dan, I got to give you a little grief here about something. Then again, we were talking about Kevin McHale last week, me and him. Mm-hmm. He said, I would consider Kevin McHale more like a Rick Mahorn and Bill Laimbeer player. I was like, what? Did you not?
I did. I said the problem with that question that you posed was that he put Kevin McHale up against 2 very different style of players.
I don't really
right?
see the problem with I didn't mean to cut you off, Dan. I don't really see the problem with the question because most people said Scottie Pippen, and only 3 were undecided. You were one of the 3, so I don't think it was that hard to answer.
At most, everybody said Scottie Pippen was the worst out of those 3?
Yeah. They very easily they said that.
I think
yes, I was throwing shade at Scottie Pippen as I posted that. I was. Fred Jackson suggested that we should just fight when we see each other.
You and him?
Pippen.
Oh, Pippen.
Come on, man. What's he good? Man, I would hit him in his body so many times he wouldn't be able to. No.
But no, get back to what you said. I said, well, maybe you should have posed a question with McHale and 2 other players that were similar, the same position, or and I said when you say Kevin McHale was more like Rick Mahorn, Bill Laimbeer type because they were big guys, low post players, right? James Worthy and Scottie Pippen are small forwards, slashers, runners, not the same type of player. So it was a little hard to compare that.
I know.
As far as skill set.
I was throwing a little shade at Scottie. I'll admit it. I don't like him because every time to this day, every time I see him doing interviews, he's got to throw Isaiah's name. He throws his name out there and throws him under the bus. I don't appreciate that. So I'm always stick up for my guy. You know what I mean? If I'm in Peoria, Illinois, talking to a semi-pro football team, and he's talking about them Flint Fury guys, I can't stand them. I'd like to do this and this and this. I'm gonna stick up for you and say, I don't think so. And then that's just the way I am. I stick up for my guys, whether I'm right or wrong. But yeah, that's Jim Kelly and LeBron. I really don't. I got to think about that one. I just don't know where that came from. Don't even know how to. That's one talent that Dan does have. Sometimes he could say something where I'm like, don't know what to say afterwards. This is one of those times, yeah.
I'm not comparing the skill level of LeBron and James and Jim Kelly by any means. I'm just trying to get you to see it from the viewpoint of
like
the number of championships that you've been to versus the number that you've won.
You mentioned Dill for a long time. You brought his name up. I wouldn't say he's better than Jim Kelly, even though he has a Super Bowl win under his belt.
Right, but that's the point
or Brad
I think
Johnson.
I'm kind of trying to make is like people put so much emphasis on championships, right? And how many championships they've been to versus how many they've won, and that's with LeBron and
what if
Jordan.
LeBron ties Jordan in a couple years with 6? What if he ties him? Is he still? It's not going to be enough or what?
I mean,
I don't know.
He'd have to win a few more. He'd have to win a couple more or a few more to get past 6. Once he gets to 6 or gets past 6, then it might be a different conversation. But everybody's going to go back to Jordan went to 6, won 6.
Okay, but if you go at that argument too, though, I've seen a meme with Bill Russell and all his rings, right?
Yeah.
So he'd be the greatest because he got way more rings, right?
Right. That's another. We discussed this topic when talking about Tom Brady, right? As far as
so then
number your skill level versus, like, in my mind, like, it's just talent wise, right? We're talking about championships, talent wise. Dan Marino is a better quarterback than Tom Brady, right? Talent wise. John Elway's a better quarterback than Tom Brady, talent-wise.
I'm not necessarily disagreeing with the Dan Marino. I'm not necessarily disagreeing, but to me, longevity and durability, man, you got to give a guy some due for that.
Yes, and I think just like Tom Brady, right? At some point, LeBron, with his extended career length, at some point he's going to get to that status, winning enough, especially if he wins a couple more championships, that you have to look at his overall career, the length of his career, the number of championships he's won, and there may come a time where, just like I changed my mind about Tom Brady, I'll change my mind and step over to the LeBron side when it comes to the GOAT.
Okay, I'm gonna get back to the Flint Fury here for a second. Who are your guys' arch rival? Do you guys have a rival, or is there like a team that?
It's like anybody in Detroit.
Okay, who are some of the teams in Detroit?
Detroit Seminoles.
Oh, they still have a team.
They still hanging around.
Okay,
they doing good. Detroit Ravens. They've been winning championships for the last so many years. So we out to get those guys in Detroit.
And when does the season start?
May 1st.
May 1st. Now, are your games played like on a particular day during the week, like Saturdays or
Saturday
Sundays?
Nights.
Saturday nights.
Like, we haven't decided if it's going to be 6:30 p.m. or 7, but it's Saturday nights.
Yeah. According to the schedule, the first game against the Metro Detroit Raiders at home.
Yeah, he said that earlier.
At Hamady High.
Well, we're still negotiating with Hamady right now, so I don't want to put that out there like, we sure that we're
TBD.
Okay. But yeah, so we still negotiating right now.
Okay.
What is the name of the website that people can go to so they can look more into depth of the Flint Fury football team?
Just FlintFuryFootball.com.
FlintFuryFootball.com. Anybody who's watching.
Yep.
Yeah.
Who are some of the players on the team?
This year is really crazy because
got any veterans? Like who are some of the veteran players?
Players to watch.
I mean, I know he loves all of his players, but like who's like the leadership role kind of players?
You know what's crazy about it? It's like a turnover actually, because I got a bunch of young guys right now. Like it's like all the old guys, like, oh, I'm retiring. You know what I mean? So it's like this year I got an influx of new guys. So I guess one on defense would be Terrence Curitan.
Okay,
we call him T-Time. He's been around with us for maybe 8 years or so, and he's real dominant, like a 7-time All-Star.
He
usually leads the team in tackles every year.
Is he a D tackle or a DM?
He's a linebacker.
Linebacker? Okay.
Yeah, he's played middle linebacker and outside linebacker, so he's a really good athlete.
Who were your favorite NFL players when you were growing up?
Well, I guess I might be a little different, but I used to like Clay Matthews at the Cleveland Browns.
Yeah, he played a long time.
That's
he played like 20-something years for them, all of one team.
For those who don't know, that's Clay Matthews
He's
Senior.
Well respected. Ain't nothing wrong with that. He's well respected.
Now, my number when I used to play was 57 because of him.
Oh, okay. Well, that's good. Yeah. Shout out to Clay Matthews there.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was one of my favorites, and of course, Tony Dorsett.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let me see. What about like Ray Lewis and Lawrence Taylor? If you had to talk about those two,
Lawrence Taylor is the cream of the crop. You don't get no better than Lawrence Taylor.
You got to be listening, man.
No, you can't get.
He's
no
on
better.
A roll today, man.
You can't get no better than Lawrence Taylor. He changed the whole game. the whole game. He changed the whole, and he was mean.
In my personal opinion, in my lifetime, I can only say in my lifetime because, like I said, I didn't see Deacon Jones and Johnny Unitas and all them guys. But in my lifetime, he's the best individual football player I've ever seen. Lawrence Taylor. No disrespect to like Barry Sanders or Joe Montana and Tom Brady, but and I'm not saying that he's better than all them guys. He's just, in my eye, my favorite player, but he would be a guy I would want on my team. That's John Madden's favorite player, too.
Yeah, he was great. He was a great one.
What do you think of Lawrence Taylor?
I love Lawrence Taylor.
You're going to compare him to let me see.
Anyways, like Chuck said, Lawrence Taylor changed the game at that position. And nobody had seen a player like that before. He's just so freakishly athletic, so talented, just could not be stopped.
Yeah, he was.
Plus the mentality that the guy carried around, right? You talk about
that was the killer.
You want to talk about Jordan mentality? Lawrence Taylor,
Jordan mentality. Oh, here we
if
go.
LeBron had a Lawrence Taylor mentality, he'd be on 12 championships by now.
What do you mean Jordan? Hold on. What do you mean Jordan mentality? How come he can't have like a Larry Bird mentality or a Magic Johnson mentality? Or a Wayne Gretzky mentality? Why has it always got to be, or a Muhammad Ali mentality for that reason?
Well, yeah,
it's always got to be Jordan, man.
Muhammad Ali's mentality's up there with the Jordan mentality. Come on, Bird, really? You really think Bird had the Jordan mentality?
That's another subject, man. Don't look.
I'm not knocking Bird. That's not what I'm saying.
You talking about the guy that swept Michael 2 years in a row? You talking about that Larry Bird?
We're talking about the mentality. Mentality.
I just want to make sure we're talking about the same person.
Instinct.
You talking about the same Bird that swept Michael Jordan 2 years in a row? Is that the same guy?
Yep.
Yeah, I'd take Larry Bird over him. I'm not saying he's better. That's just my personal preference, man. Come on, man. This guy used to tune up Dennis Rodman, man, when Rodman was young and fast and all. Come on, man.
Nobody's talking about talent level. Nobody's talking about that. That's not what we're talking about.
What do you think of Larry Bird's mentality? Just mentality.
Well, in my opinion, it was a killer. It was a killer mentality.
The parquet floor, man. Come on.
Him and Magic, those mentalities was real similar, I think. They wanted to put you under the floor, they didn't care,
Back in those days, Magic and Larry would have kicked their grandmother in the you-know-what to win a game. That was their mentality.
Yeah.
Michael Jordan, too. I'm not saying, man, but it's always Michael Jordan this, Michael Jordan that.
Well,
there's other guys with good mentalities, too, man.
To give credit where credit's due, I think Jordan was built from being dogged by Larry Bird for so long.
Right? And Isaiah.
Right? And the Celtics and the Pistons, that's what ignited that fire in Jordan.
Yeah.
Right?
Wasn't that the documentary?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was too physical for him.
Yep.
What is here's a random question, Chuck.
All right.
And I'll give you an example because I'll tell you what mine is. What's a hidden talent that you have that not a lot of people know about? I'll answer that first for me. I can type super fast. My friend Marty Terry thinks this is not a gay bash, and I'm not saying nothing bad about gays. It's not about that, but he thinks I'm gay because of the way that I type.
In our age, we had to learn it though.
Yeah, on
we
the
did.
old
We had typing classes in school.
Yeah, we had to learn it back then. Yeah, we had to learn it.
So that's my hidden talent. I got good memory too. It's another talent. That's about it, though. I don't really know anything else.
I guess it would be like a graphic designer.
Oh yeah,
I do my own website. I do flyers and design T-shirts. I do things like that.
That's a good talent.
Yeah,
another talent I wish I had. I need to start learning more stuff.
Graphic design.
I need to start learning. Because I have a career now where I make my own schedule. I make really, really good money, but I have a lot of time. Where I need to start. I need to learn how to cook. I need to learn how to do designing type stuff. I need to learn about vehicle. I don't know. I ain't never changed a tire in my life, man.
What? That surprises me.
I get on that phone. Hey, man, you hungry? Yeah. All right, man, come change this tire real quick, man. We'll go eat.
That is amazing there.
All right, Chuck. Well, we're going to wrap this up, man. If you want to say one last thing about the Flint Fury, go ahead and have at it, man.
I don't know. Just come check us out this summer, May 1st. It's the first home game. Stay tuned on FlintFuryFootball.com. And if you can, buy your raffle tickets to help us out for the youth camp this year. You can contact us at 888-863-7215.
Okay.
Well, there you have it.
Are people able to buy raffle tickets online, or are they direct?
They can buy it. It's kind of not set up online, but, I can take a picture of it and send them their ticket.
Okay.
And they can buy electronically, Venmo, Cash App, Zelle.
Gotcha.
Anything like that.
Any information about the football camp you want to give out? Is that camp run by you guys?
Yeah. We haven't decided the location, so, that'll be coming out soon.
Okay.
But it'll be at the end of May, probably during Memorial Day weekend.
Okay. So people go to the website if they want to get information.
Keep updated.
On the website. Flint,
yes, sir.
FlintFuryFootball.com.
Yes, sir.
Yep. Now, if I could wish one thing on the football team and pretty much every other team in the league, I just hope for a healthy, no serious injuries. I know stuff can happen, but I just pray for the players, opponents, and your team, man, that there's no serious injuries and play the right way. Listen to Big Chuck and all the coaching staff, and good luck to the little kids who will be playing football for the first time, a lot of them, and I just wish them all luck and good health. Stay safe and all that stuff. And Chuck, I appreciate the impromptu guest appearance.
Oh, no problem.
Because I know when you woke up this morning, I don't think you're like, hey, I wonder if I'm going to be on Ray's show today. That's just how it works sometimes.
Hey, that's okay. Got to be ready.
When the season starts and stuff like that, man, I have you back on here. We'll talk some more Flint Fury football. But I appreciate I don't think that I disagreed with one thing that he said today. I think that's the first time I ever had a guest.
I think that's the truth.
Where I didn't say, no, wait a minute, I don't agree with that. I don't think I did that. I did it to you.
You do it to me every time.
I don't think I did that. Yeah, man, it's first time.
That's good, then.
You know what that means? That means that you're a genius because you agree with everything I say. No, I'm just kidding. All right, man. Well, I'm glad to be back. I know Dan is glad to be back. We did a lot of shows here.
Most definitely.
And, just stay tuned. And we will be doing our shows every other week as opposed to every week. We had some things come up. And so every other week, just continue to support us. Hit that subscribe button on the YouTube, D-Sweet Nation. And, Dan, got anything, any last words here?
No, just great to be back. Chuck, it's very nice for you to stop in and fill in today.
No problem.
Glad to be back. Hit that like button, subscribe. Keep checking us out.
All right. Have a good weekend.